Good evening, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel. I've been on vacation, and trust me, I'm still mentally halfway at the tropics right now. I just got back yesterday, and when I jumped into the VectorVest 7 software, what stock is at the top of the list? What is the number one rated stock out of all the stocks? We're tracking close to 10,000 stocks. What's the number one right now? Micron. I've been talking about it since the trade set up around $100. And over the last few weeks with their project in New York, this is a massive $100 billion semiconductor project in mid-state New York. Now, this is the largest private investment in the state. And I was reading some articles here, and the goal is that up to a quarter of the semiconductor chips produced here or manufactured here in the United States will be coming from this manufacturing plant and only 2 decades away. So Micron is the stock we're going to cover this evening. Now, I already see a lot of attributes that could propel this stock even higher. I've been talking about it. High bandwidth memory chips. It's the next stage of the AI revolution. So if you want, some exposure to this revolution, make some profits along the way. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Micron, I can't believe it's still so undervalued in the VectorVest 7 system, which is a very stringent value. It's not a price target, but it's just saying what we intrinsically feel the stock is actually worth. So let's go ahead and jump in some articles. Then we're going to jump into VectorVest 7 software, and I'm going to show you one of the best AI stocks to have in your portfolio. Now, the first story is Micron is getting a boost today, but from one of its competitors, right? So we've got SK Hynix here, which is a semiconductor company. Now, these two companies, they are one of the few companies here, if we take a look, among the few manufacturers producing high bandwidth memory, HBM chips. Again, have you heard of inferencing? This is the next stage of the AI revolution. Now, this company here, this supplier said its entire memory chip production for next year is already sold out. And guess what? Micron is in the same boat. As we all know, with geopolitical tensions rising right now, and the decoupling between the United States and China potentially in the next decades is all about supply chains, right? What was the question I asked Google? Is Micron the only manufacturer of HBM chips in the United States, right? You can see Micron is not the only manufacturer of HBM chips in the US. However, it is the only US-based manufacturer of advanced memory chips like HBM. Intel is developing AI accelerators that rely on HBM, but does not currently manufacture HBM chips itself. This company is very important, very vital. You can see here, as Micron is the only US-based memory chip manufacturer. So as we've all realized about the supply chain concern, when it comes to the next stage of the AI revolution, Micron's going to play a critical role when it comes to this technology. Now, as far as its manufacturing capabilities, it's got a lot of existing facilities here, a lot of concentration in Idaho, Virginia. However, the biggest plan going forward right now is actually going to be in New York. But as far as growth plans here, you can see they're building a second larger manufacturing fab as part of a $30 billion expansion plan. And when it comes to New York here, it's a $100 billion plan. Now, the company expects the second Idaho fab to be completed before the first New York fab. Again, a lot of these fabs are just now in production being made, and they take a while to build. Now, the stock's still up just over 3% right now, about an hour into the market's open. Now, the stock still showing that momentum, right? Because of that news of its competitor, HK, the South Korean semiconductor manufacturing company, saying, hey, this is prolonged growth. This is not going to be just a short cycle here, a long cycle when it comes to HBM and memory demand devices. Now, as far as the valuation here, look at what we value the stock at, $319. So intrinsically, you are getting some value here. As far as RVRS, these are fundamental indicators. Now, these indicators, 0 to 2 scale. Above 1 is favorable, below 1 is unfavorable. You can see favorable ratings across the board here. Company's got strong fundamentals. And on top of that, look at RT relative timing. This is our technical indicator. The momentum is in favor of the bulls. Got a buy recommendation on this position. I'm looking at the forecasted data, sales growth rate, 46%, outpacing earnings growth rate at 38%. So there's a lot of fuel for this engine. When this engine, I'm telling you, the earnings can drive this stock price much higher. All right, here's Micron over the last 12 months. The first thing I want to say is look at RT relative timing. When this indicator went in favorable territory here, that was letting us know that the bulls were in control. You see RT relative timing in favorable territory. Other than this one day here, a little bit of trouble. But other than that, guess what? The stock has been rising quite a bit here. A lot of momentum to the upside. And I mean, just looking at the price chart, lower left, upper right, nice steady eddy stock here. Now, I started talking about the stock more so right around this break from this descending trend line here. You can see RT relative timing in favorable territory here. Price action, currently that close was around $111. So if you watch the video, if you've been watching the channel here, you've got around one in the bag when it comes to Micron. I'm telling you right now, I don't think the stock is going to be over anytime soon. Yes, it can pull back, with market volatility, things of that nature. But me, I'm thinking this stock's going to go much, much higher. You see valuation on the rise here, price action on the rise. That's what I like to see. That's my favorite chart pattern. Undervalued stock, price action, chasing value, which continues to rise here. Look at this, buy ratings across the board here, other than some sales about a year ago. If we zoom out here, you see price action on the downtrend. Some sales did come into play here, but with a strong buy rating to follow suit, and over the last 12 months, price action is in favor of the bulls. Now, I do see momentum to the upside here. Stock has an RT currently at 1.93. So yes, the momentum is there right now. Now, if you want to chase this momentum to the upside, hey, we can look at something like Star Search. This uses Bollinger Bands here. You see price action staying in the fast lane for the most part. So as long as price action stays in this fast lane here, hey, keep the momentum going, protect those profits. Otherwise, if price action does pull back a little bit, you can see accumulation points around the 20-day EMA. Tends to be good entries here. Me personally, it's a little overstretched for my liking right now. I'd like to see a little bit of a pullback here. And as far as any kind of nice, healthy retest level or nice, healthy pullback, I could see somewhere around 215 potentially to about $200. Treat that as like a zone. You can see the 20-day EMA approaching into that zone right now. That's where I'm looking for the retest. But I will not be surprised if we get big Mag 7 earnings over the next few days and this stock just keeps on roaring. Again, this is Micron. It's been a stock I've been talking about quite a bit on the channel and the live streams, and I've done some 6 p.m. videos on this powerful semiconductor play. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation. Again, my name is Ryan. If you like today's presentation, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night.